Hello, gentlemen. Reviving Real News. Welcome back. I'm a little pissed off. I'm just going to get right into this one. You women make me sick. You single mothers make me physically. You don't understand. I wish there was words. That's probably in the Latin language, which is dead. But man, you make me physically ill. My guts just want to jump out of my insides. Our sons have no spaces or anything. This has been bugging me. They're supposed to be a type of way. They're supposed to be combative or physical or rambunctious and wound up and all those other stupid terms these professional doctors and these social justice clowns. You know what I mean by clowns. They're not literal clowns. I have more respect for Bozo the clown and Krusty the clown than I do. You guys understand. A stupid, I don't want to cuss, stupid pharmaceuticals and stupid therapy is not, that's not parenting, number one. And number two, that is not how you deal with with children, number one. But number two, specifically, young boys, teenage boys. Okay? Yes, there are differences. And I understand that puberty, testosterone, and other things hit men differently, different ages, different parts of their teenage years. I understand that. I know the late bloomer part. I know that all of it. I get it. I was a kid, remember? We were all kids. The other thing that makes me sick anymore, they're not your stupid son husbands. They're not here to do the chores. They're not here to pick up the heavy things and take them clear across whatever to the dumpster and throw them away and then keep on repeating it. You get off your stupid, disgusting, narcissistic, egotistical, entitled, obese, beach beluga land whale ass and do some physical freaking work in your house, in your apartment. You do the stuff. You let them boys be boys. They're not here to be your slaves. They're not here to continue to do all this crap while you be on your Tinder thought and you be on the TikTok and you be on this and that and blah, 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 when we all know you don't look like what you portray. We all know, number two, you got 4 more kids than what you actually are saying you got. And number 3, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we all know you only looking for one type, really. Really. And if you allow the other type to come around, it's only because you're going to take the money, go behind the back and give it to that other type of guy. See, I'm not dumb. I'm not afraid to call what it is for what it is. That's not racism either. So miss me with that BS. I know how American culture and society works. Okay? Technology is not the cure for babysitting, for hyperness, for testosterone, for when puberty kicks in and they're so freaking wound up, they're bouncing off the walls mentally, chemically, excuse me, gentlemen, and everything in between. I'm disgusted at this filth, what I see on a daily basis, and it's only getting worse because I don't know I don't know what's really reality, okay? I only know what I see and hear in my own part of this realm and what supposedly is real life, quote unquote, air quotes, with the internet and these videos other people show. But it does, I have to honestly admit, it appears that more and more of these filthy women only have their kids, or the other thing that I'm not afraid to call out is they got dudes in there, but they ain't making the dudes do nothing. A, because it's not really the father, and B, because the dude's probably in there for, look, let's call it out in my culture. Dude's probably in there for drugs, so she got free drugs, or in there for free money so she can go get the free drugs. Because the truth of the matter in our culture here, gentlemen, is women who are really single and this and that and ain't got no kids, they're probably not really doing the drugs. And if they are, they got their own funds and means, and they ain't hanging with no dudes like this. I ain't afraid to say what it is. So let's get back to the point. The point of the matter is, your kids, them sons specifically, ain't your freaking slaves. They're not your husbands. They're not your toys. They're not your torture things. That's the other part of this that's pissing me off because I got to hear it. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. They're not there for you to scream at because you don't get a whatever on your phone. You don't get messages. You don't get notifications. You don't get likes and pandered. You don't get, excuse me, gentlemen. You don't be getting no whatever in the Cash Apps and the PayPals and the blah, 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 boo. They're not there for your torture and your relief of anxiety and stress. Get over yourself. Do you not understand? Do you idiots not understand what you are doing, not only short term, but long term, honestly? Because let's call another spade a spade here, fellas. Most boys or young men that mature and get to live and turn into older men or middle-aged men that have a functioning brain that aren't the triple P's, predictably programmed people or properly programmed people, they at some point figure a lot of this stuff out, and they're just not going to partake in this. And it's just, guys, how can you seriously do this? The long-term damage is they're basically not going to want. They're not going to want to do anything to do with no woman. They're not going to want to, and eventually they're going to be strong enough physically and internally to reject the urges biologically. So you can kiss all that stuff goodbye, and there goes a vast majority of your stupid income. You're screwing them up right now in the short term, and then in the long term, you're screwing up everything that has to do with humanity. I don't care where you live, what you identify as, what your background, your beliefs. I don't care about any of that because what I'm saying is the truth. This has got to stop. It's disgusting. It's filth. Stop taking out your mental abuse on them. Stop it. Stop. And here's the thing. There's a reason fathers have to be around. God bless. They have to be around. They have to. There's a reason it's always been like this in any part of any land in this realm throughout our entire existence, men. From the Middle East to Asia to the South to the North to my country to the country above and the country below to the islands, the territories, and everything in between that I'm forgetting. All the provinces, you guys understand what I'm saying. Fathers and men have always had to be there because they know how to handle this. They know how to let young men be young men and boys be boys to grow and mature. You have to get the physical things out, the anger, the test. It's part of growing up and maturing. I'm disgusted by these things. You are so, it's filthy. You have to understand. Women are not physical whatever beings. They're not. They're not going to be all rambunctious and wanting to go, okay, look, I'll die on this hill, but men, we have to admit this, even though we may not have been good at it or necessarily enjoyed it all the time, the physical thing of sports as a young boy or whatever is good. Some kind of physical activity, gentlemen, they got to have it. And women are not geared for these things. The other thing they're not geared to do is the fishing, the nature stuff, okay? It's this, call it for what it is. Miss me with the, oh, I'm a nature influencer. No, you're, There's a reason that the father has to be there. There's a reason. And it's because they know how to handle these things. They know how to allow them until it gets to the point where they have to intervene and stop it or slow it down because it's escalating. Look, I don't want to piss nobody off per se. I'm not going to knock video games and phones and whatever there is. Computers, tablets, blah, 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 jerky jacky. I don't care. Okay, you guys understand my point. any and all of that stuff, you're destroying, number one, physically, your sons, our sons. Number two, mentally, you're destroying because they're not learning anything, which goes into what I said in my first video today and eventually leads into the warrior spirit and the survival. Because they're not learning any combative, they're not learning any problem solving, they're not learning how to figure how to overcome somebody who's bigger and better. No, you stupid morons. Video games and phones and technology is not what you do. That's not a father. It's not a father. That's not somebody who understands and knows how to mentor and teach and show, hey, look, even though this is okay and you did it, this is another way to react or another way how to handle it to save your energy for the next fight or to save this for the next. Man, you understand where I'm going with this, man. I'm sick and disgusted by you filthy, stupid single mothers. You make me sick. I'm so sick and tired of hearing the masculinity is negative. There shouldn't be this and that. Look, you shouldn't go around fighting. But I'm disgusted at seeing there's either toothpick skinny boys that I question how they're being raised because the way they talk and dress makes me, are you little cum si, cum sa? And for my French speakers, you know what I'm saying right there, cum si, cum sa. You know what I mean. That's a little, I'm questioning that stuff. Or these kids are so, look, I don't mean no disrespect to anybody, okay? I don't. My family's got its skeletons in its closet regarding this stuff. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. But I right now, knocking on wood, I don't have these health issues. I'm not obese. And I was not as a child. That's the other thing. What I see is gross. And you women are enabling and encouraging this. It's because you're not built. You're not built for the physical activity like a father is. Because a father needs to burn off his own anger and aggressions and his own energies and stuff. You can't always do it with the bang bang and the TNA. Can't always get your stuff out at work. You got to go out and walk or go fishing, and you got to go out and do stuff. You got to go shoot some hoops, throw the football. I mean, you got to be a man. Nobody speaks. I'm sorry for yelling, but darn it, nobody speaks and nobody wants to stand up and say anything for this and against any of this and call it for what it is, man, because this is our future and this is the health of the current and the next generations, and it's disgusting because nobody speaks, nobody takes action, nobody does anything but buy my hoodie, buy my artwork, buy my software, donate to this. You guys need to do this and that. If you don't do it, I'm not going to turn on comments. Because you're so afraid of not getting TNA. You're so afraid. It's like everybody wants to catch the ghost. Here's the news flash. You're not Ghostbusters. Believe me, I was born, and when I was born, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. I love Ghostbusters. It's my earliest memory, fellas, is Ghostbusters. I can tell you where I remember seeing it. I do believe it was Covington, Kentucky. And I remember the family's name. I remember everything about that. I do. God bless Ghostbusters. Till the day I die, God bless them. But anyways, back to the point. This is filthy. Okay? The other thing I'm tired of seeing in the comment sections and these other videos and crap, well, I don't no longer partake in that anymore. But when I did, is the BS regarding the child stuff and what men can say or can't do or document. I'm going to tell you revive some real news for you. Yes, you absolutely fucking can. And I am not sorry for cussing on that one. You bet your ass. You bet your ass. You just got to know how to use your God-given tools, talents, abilities, and gifts and blessings that he gave you and you were born with. I can only explain and show the map or draw the map for you. You have to know how to do it yourself when it's presented the tools and the information. But yes, there's ways to, but you also got to have the fire. You got to have the passion, and you also have to give up time to do it, because you're going to have to do it more than 5, 6, 7 times and get the proof. You're going to have to be able to show for the height, the age, and everything about your son, that the mental and physical health is crap for their age and everything because of the lack of physical activity and all the suppression of the testosterone and everything else. I don't care. I don't give a crap because I did not tolerate it when I did not tolerate it. I did not tolerate it. And anyone will tell you that I did not tolerate that crap. When them mother effers tried to live with me and the stupid mothers would try to let them live with me and how they wanted to raise babies and feed babies and take care of this crap when they were 4, 5, 6, 7 and going into element. No. None of this sugar and crap and all this candies and these juices and sodas. It's poison. You know, sit there and feed them all that. I can't. There's things that you can do, fellas, is all my point was. Stop being gaslit by people in the comment sections and other stuff. Stop being told. This goes back to what Lazarus said today and what I'm saying to you again today. You got to have the warrior spirit, the fight in you. You've got to have that, and you've got to have these things, because if not for necessarily, if you know you're fighting a losing battle, like he said, you might be fighting one at that moment per se in your situation, but maybe it's not about you. It's about the next man, the next man to you, the next man up, the person after you, your son, your grandsons. It's about that. You know, some of the greatest victories in our existence had come from these things. From strong men who realized there was nothing for them to gain, but everything was going to be dog shit if they didn't make a stand and speak up and do something now. Because if not for the man next to them, for their sons and grandsons, and the children they see walking down the street and in stores and in churches and in that social gatherings and everywhere in between. I can't stand how I have to hear everywhere in society how these filthy, disgusting women talk to their sons specifically. The health makes me sick. I couldn't have, look, I know fathers are way different, okay? I know how men can do whatever. But here's the thing, when men overreact and get emotional or say certain things sometimes, men might take an hour or 40 minutes to do whatever, but a real man will always go back and apologize and admit it and eat his crow, especially to his children and his son, okay? A woman ain't built for that. A woman ain't, and especially nowadays, they're going to beat it down even worse. And this is what I'm saying, man. Don't nobody speak up. Don't nobody want to say anything because all this BS propaganda has been instilled and ingrained into men. Oh, well, you can't say it, and if you say anything, it's not going to matter. Yes, it is going to matter. It's going to matter because I did this myself. It makes a difference. You piss people off. You clog up the system. You get people to stop taking the mother serious. Do you not want to believe me? I've told you I've got papers for years to prove what I'm saying to you. Stop being gaslit. I can't stand that nobody speaks up. And I'm not going to apologize for my fire right now because this is gross what is being allowed. Right now I can hear the stuff out my window, and I have my window closed. Just sitting there going off at the boys out there. And I know who it is. It's a stunning and brave, strong and independent Caucasian single mother with, you guys get where I'm about to go with this, I'm going to shut my mouth. All she's be, that's, yeah. Yeah. And look, look, I'm not going to tell you that I ever say anything or intervene, but look, here's the truth. Myself personally, I remember every single time in the last 3 to 4 years, with the exception of being in prison, that I've seen younger boy teenagers, or I've seen dudes in their 20s that I heard some things they were saying, or I saw the looks in their eyes or their body language, and I'd say some stuff to them. And I'd kind of say like, hey, look, what you're saying or doing, that's not it. Because nobody, and it's funny when you can speak to them on their level. whether it's the verbiage or the sports or even their jacket they were wearing or something. And then you can say, hey, look, it's not what you need to be doing. You're 17 years old. What do you mean this is the reason? No, no, no. You're not supposed to be at 17 years old, whatever, because your mom don't want to work. He's not there to be the one paying the bills. But again, nobody wants to speak up. Nobody wants to do nothing. I can't believe it's a twofold attack what they're doing here, and it's gross, man. It's gross. It's gross. It's disgusting. There is no short-term solution, but you bet your behind there's a long-term solution. There really is. Here's the problem. Too many men are wussies. Come at me, okay? Come at me. I don't care if you're 6'7", 320 something. Come at me, okay? Yes, I might get hit, taken down. I might even get knocked out. Here's the thing. Unless you kill me or break my legs, I have the knowledge and I have the internal genetical wherewithal to bounce back and come back, and I'm going to defeat you. Because I've been all on this earth going on 40 years now. And I know that one thing I am good at is fighting and surviving. And I'm good at speaking. I'm very good at speaking up, because how in the heck do you think I've survived as long as I have, with child support taking everything? Everything. Every single thing. Everything. Everything. I mean, like, you guys, I've told you this 100 times. I mean, forget the financial part of never having a paycheck or a salary. It cost me my mother, my father, my sister. It cost me my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. I mean, this cost me my inheritance. Yes, my fucking inheritance this cost me. Because my family does not believe in out-of-wedlock children. With the exception of my cousins having all the... Never mind, gentlemen. My cousins can do whatever they want and be rewarded for it. My sister probably too, but yeah. I was the punisher. I was the one to be punished for having kids out of wedlock. It cost me everything. Everything. I'm just listening. I'm listening to these. This just makes me sick. And look, I know this isn't every single little nook and cranny in the divided states of America. I know, I understand that, okay? But I also can guarantee you those part of the income scale of America are not listening to my voice, because they're caught up in the whatever system of this country and the bigger scheme of the world, which is a whole different topic for a whole whatever. But yeah, that's why it's the divided states of America. It's exactly why that is. And that's why I know that's why people believe they're above and beyond and better than me. Because of what's in that account, or what's in that closet, or what's in the pantry. It's not about the character, or the quality, or the capability of the individual. It's about what can you do for me and what can I take from you. More what can I take from you. These stupid single mothers are allowed to take it. I mean, I can't believe this. They're allowed to take everything. I mean, then you think of what they feed them on top of everything else I just blabbered about? Are you serious? Excuse me. And here's the other thing, fellas. I'm going to call it out too, while it's on the tip of my tongue. The only times and reasons you ever see a single mother put the kids out of that house, seriously, number one, and this might surprise some men, it ain't because they getting a nookie or they sucking they sucking the, no, they ain't none of that. It's because they getting high. Number two, would be getting some nookie or the other thing. Okay? That would be number 2. Because I can't speak for what goes on with the daughters. I usually never got involved with that crap. If I was back when I was younger and I cared about having some nookie, if they had kids, because I wasn't for a relationship, I was just for the whatever because they looked you know what. And I knew how to get what I wanted and get out. But my point of this is I never really, once there was a daughter, no, there was a whole internal and every kind of block imaginable. I knew how to, it didn't exist. They had a boy, I treated it a little bit differently, just to kind of understand the dynamics. So I didn't overstep boundaries, especially if it was a real softly wussified one. I don't mean no disrespect, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Because like my boys weren't like that. I ain't have no wussified whatever. I didn't have to worry about offending no whatever. And I didn't have to worry about roughhousing or none of that stuff. I didn't have to worry about saying something that's going to get me in trouble because I didn't know some politically correct way of saying something, or I didn't know the whatever specifics of the dumb, stupid public school system for that specific hour of that day. This is everything I'm saying is why the fathers are not allowed. This is all the reason. Okay, look, let's get the Captain Obvious out of the room, the financial child support. Okay, get that out of the room. This is exactly what this is. This is exactly what this is. It's everything else that comes with this. It's your punching bag, it's your slave, and then you just get to do accordingly as long as it's breathing. And if anybody says otherwise, it doesn't matter because daddy government and the school system and everything in between is on your side. And why has it gotten to this point as we enter 2023? Because nobody speaks up and raises their voice. People are just told, it's not going to make it, it doesn't matter, you're beating a dead horse. Look, you got to pick your battles wisely. You got to speak when it's appropriate to speak. Okay? That comes with wisdom and experience. You have to understand that. I get that. I fully get that. But just sitting here and nobody doing nothing, nobody caring, and just enabling it because you're afraid of not getting some TNA, or you're afraid of somebody canceling you, man, miss me with this weak stuff. Excuse me, gentlemen. This is not this has got to stop. I don't even know. It's freaking filthy. And here's the other thing too. Let's call a spade on this other aspect of this. What you're doing to the females. What makes you think that our sons and grandsons are going to want to have relations with them? Okay, calling out Captain Obvious here. A lot of them don't take care of themselves. Okay, gentlemen, I'm young enough to still be a little aware. I mean, up until the last whatever years, I was physically doing what I needed to do because it wasn't hard. I've said this before. It's not hard. I mean, and I never had to settle for beach beluga land whales like these idiots on YouTube tell you. Roar. They're full of crap. That's because that's what they're getting. They're projecting the crap onto you. And miss me with that nonsense, fellas. They're reviving some real news for you. It's not hard to do what you need to do, man. You just got to have the drive to do it. You don't need money. It's the other bull crap. You don't need money, man. Yeah, it helps. It makes it a lot easier and it makes a lot of shortcuts and avenues open up. Sure, I'm not stupid. But nobody speaks. Nobody says anything. Everyone's been wussified and beat down. There's no fire. There's no passion because of all the crappy distractions. And then you're just... When did men become afraid of women? Here's the thing that I never understood. And this has happened to me my whole adult life. Like, and that's the truth. Like, I've been dealing with this my whole adult life, man, except for the first 2-3 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 years, okay? Yeah, 20 to 5 years, 5 years. I've been dealing with this since then. The first 5 years of my adulthood. I was never afraid of any females, even when I had to deal with the mothers in the court. I mean, the court system, I don't want to say afraid of, but it's something that you think 2, 3, 4, 5 times about, especially speaking or doing some stuff. Okay? But when did you become afraid to say something to a woman? When did you seriously become afraid to like have a line in the sand? Like, that's what I don't get. And I say it to you again, Phyllis, from personal experience. Call their bluff when it comes to the child support or the court stuff. Call their bluff. You call their bluff because at the bare minimum, you're clogging it up. And if you clog it up enough, somebody's going to get pissed off, and it's probably not going to always be at you because they're going to see that there's a reason you're doing what you're doing. Okay? Unless you have a history of mental health or drug addiction, they're going to listen to you. At some point, they're going to listen to you, is my point, okay? And you're going to prolong the misery and all the other pleasantries that have come with watching the mother squeam. Yes, you will. But again, gentlemen, to each their own. I can't explain where this lack of fire, this wussification has come from, except for it really is that men are so afraid to be by themselves without TNA. Okay, and I don't. And look, when you're younger, I understand it's kind of always there, and you kind of want it around. I understand that, and look, I don't regret having my sons, but I didn't want kids. I'm not going to shame to say that, especially at that age. Like, I just wanted to do what I wanted to do because I needed my time. I needed to, of course, we all need our time. We all need our time, man. Yeah. It's tough when everybody understands this. It's tough when you have when you have the kids when you don't plan it and you realize you're too young to have them. It's a gut punch. But it is what it is because it's a blessing. It is a blessing. One way or another, it's a blessing. But that's the other thing. A lot of people, especially men, are guilted and beat down and shamed into saying the truth. Because a lot of men are effed over when it comes to that stuff. And that's how the kid thing does happen. That's the truth. And I know this because I've done growing up. When I've grown up, I've seen this firsthand. I've seen what females do. And it doesn't always happen in the first couple of years of the relationship. I know this. I've seen it fully well. So you can miss me with all that stuff. Like, I'm fully versed into how men are put in bad predicaments like that, and then they have to suppress some true emotions and some true harsh realities and feelings because they're not allowed to. Well, I understand, gentlemen. I do. It's not saying that you didn't want kids and you don't love your kids and this and that. It's just that at that time in your life, you weren't prepared for it. I'm so frustrated with these fucking single mothers. Sorry, guys. I'm so pissed off at this that nobody wants to say anything. I'm so upset with that nobody wants to say nothing. It's because they're afraid of being excluded or not allowed to get TNA. That's more or less is what it boils down to. And okay, yeah, and I get the fear of the court thing. But the gentleman, here's the other fear factor bullcrap. Unless you're really far behind in your child support, like I'm serious, far, like bad, like kind of what happened to me maybe, don't be afraid to do whatever because they can't and they won't do anything to you. The worst they're going to do is ignore you. But I don't understand. I'm scratching my head right now trying to figure when in the last 20 years the just... It doesn't take money to do a lot of this stuff, and I know it from experience. It takes money to do court things, like court filings, but it don't take money to do the CSEA stuff, and it don't take to do the well-being things. Those don't take no whatever. I know that. I just don't understand, like, how are people okay with what they see and hear on a daily basis, man? It's filthy. I mean, it's just seriously filthy. I mean, yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, I get the adage, don't upset the apple cart. I look, fellas, I get that too. I get that because especially if you're doing some, you know what, to the system. And I know all the tricks of the trade, gentlemen, without speaking them, okay? When it comes to your money and not letting things be what they appear to be, so you're not having things taken to court, I get it. I get how you might have a different income, you might have a different job. Because I know how the support orders start, fellas. I do know and understand all that, so I get it. If somehow, some way you get a better income situation and nobody knows about it and they're not notified, you're lucky. Because then your CS order just becomes another monthly bill to you, like Netflix or something. You guys get my point. But I mean, this has got to end. This has got to end in every part of our realm. It's got to end. Not just my country, but everywhere. I mean, mostly in my country first, because the health right now, if they don't do something now with the health, you could forget it. I mean, you could just forget it. You could forget it. I'm serious. You can forget it. There's nothing. Without the health, there's nothing. And it all goes back to what these stupid mothers are not built in any aspect, shape, way, form to deal with and handle it. Oh boy, they're just not. They're there to. They can be the mother. They're nurtured in the other aspects that young men and boys need to learn and understand about women. Sure, but they're not. You guys all understand where I'm going with this, man. And seriously, when is enough going to be enough? When? How much longer can we go on a daily basis with the abuse that's happening? It's abuse. It's, for God's sakes, it's abuse. You're screaming at them because you didn't get some booty last night? You're screaming at them because you don't have no money to pay the bills? They're not the freaking husband. Nobody wants to say nothing, though. Nobody wants to say anything. Nobody wants to call them out. Nobody wants to call them out. I'm disgusted at what's happening to our sons. I'm sick of it. I can't express it any other way without retching my guts up. Nobody except the ones who are enabling. You don't ever hear any kind of a voice. You don't see a meme. You don't see a short. You don't nothing. It doesn't exist because there's a lack of strong men, basically. Case in point, there's just a lack of strong men. I have no money. I have no friends or family. I have nothing but a love seat. I have 2 beds. I have a nice dresser. I have a nice little nightstand end table. I have a nice whatever desk. I have some lamps, kitchen table. I have some kitchen utensils. Obviously, I have to eat. I have to cook, and I have clothes. And I sit here and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to get beat down and get back up and overcome. I'm not afraid to say anything or speak. I'm not afraid to sit here and fight. I've been doing this my whole life. I've been doing this since I can remember. I've been doing it. I told you guys earlier. I knew when I was going to be done for when my grandmother died on Valentine's Day. Every physical thing I went through before I got whatever mature. The physical beating started right after she died, more or less, is my point, guys. I mean, the brutalization that man did to me, it is a wonder my dad kept me away from American football. Because he probably knew at some point that it wouldn't matter how big the SOB was, I was going to find a way to tackle him and snap him. Because it's exactly why I've survived. Because I'm telling you, I know what the physical stuff is, man. And especially when you're the little peon going up somebody who would. Now, I told you before, my dad was a professional athlete. Yeah, the dude had the God-given genetics. I can tell you that. I can tell. Trust me. Hey, man, I'm just calling it for what it is. There's a lack of strong men. And that's because of multiple reasons, but the number one factor is because they're afraid of not getting TNA. The other thing in the last several years that's become apparent, and you've seen it happen all over the world, Men are afraid of losing their finances from all kinds of different aspects. And I get it. I understand that, but that's not my fault. You're not smart with your money and you put it in places that you can get screwed. Guess what, gentlemen? I was 24 years old when I had to start figuring, how do I navigate child support? And if I get something that nobody knows about or can access, how do I do this? How do I do these things that I will not speak about on this platform and get myself in trouble, number one, and number two, the wrong person hear what I say and go around and start spreading something and it comes back on me? You can forget that. No. No, 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 no. That's not my fault. People don't be smart with their money and they're gaslit by the internet and the commercials and all the adverts and these idiots in comment sections and these stupid so-called experts and professionals on YouTube and their videos. It ain't my fault. Like I said, I know how to use my brain. I know how to think for myself and figure out, wait a minute, this is a scam. How in my 20s and in my early 30s was I already figuring a lot of this stuff out on my own without no stupid courses, videos, lectures, conventions, anything? I was like, wait a minute. I knew how to use a library. I know how to read, and I know how to do a lot of other things. I don't understand. I do not understand it. And yeah. And it's all led to this. All of this lack of strong men and men afraid to speak and say things, men afraid to intervene, or men afraid to walk away, has led to this, where now we have to put up with the way our sons are treated. Gosh, oh my gosh, my blood boils at this. I'm going to say it again, man. They need their dads. They need their dads more than 2 days of the week or 150 some days out of the calendar year and every other holiday, every other year. You can forget this crap. This is a direct reason why our culture and society is horseshit. There's no balance in anything. They're all effeminized and they're weakened, and nothing is being nurtured naturally. It's not. There's nothing natural about any way, shape, or form, mentally and physically. There's nothing natural about what is being allowed to happen at all. There's no way you can paint this into the Monet or the Mona Lisa. There's no way you can paint this into a Picasso. You can't. This is hell on earth. This is hell on earth. And this is something I read today too. And it's true. Real women and mothers never allowed some idiot lecturer or somebody with chemicals or a pill to nurture and take care of their babies and to get them to stop crying or to get them from this and that. They knew how to do whatever, and they also knew that discipline was important, that food was important, and that you had to get out and be physical. You had to do something, whether it was help the family, because back then people did do things on their properties, whether it was hunting, fishing, and farming, this, that. You guys know where I'm going with this, man. Stupid, dumb technology and chemicals is not how you be the superficial father. It's not the answer. Stop shaming them. Stop. There's a special place in hell for you nasty single mothers that are putting these young men in sports for your own validation and your own way of living vicariously. Hey, gentlemen, I'm going to call this one out real quick because I'm pissed off at this one. Hey, you dumb Caucasian women. Not every one of you is going to birth the next Drake or the Patrick Brittany Mahomes. I hate that piece of crap. I call him Brittany Mahomes because he's a cuck. I have no respect for that trash. You filthy women, you ain't always going to birth one of them, okay? That's like, and that is not even real, by the way, but most men don't want to hear the real reality of how the world works. Drake ain't what he is, and Patrick Mahomes not what he is. None of that stuff's real. But that's what this all is, man. That's exactly what this is. And when these special place in hell for you women that are putting our sons in sports for the wrong reasons. I'm saying what it is, I'm calling it out. Special place in hell for you. We have to some way, somehow, in all parts of our realm, make a stop, put a stop to this. This has to end. If we stand for nothing, we're going to fall for any and everything. If no one is going to speak up for the health in every way, shape, or form of our sons, it's over. It is over, guys. It's over. And this is without me saying anything about the testosterone and the sperm counts. Gentlemen, we're not even good. You could be going and firing all the bullets you want, but they're going to be blank bullets. What's the point? Especially, I mean, look, I get it if you don't want kids, but if you're trying to keep humanity going, you need bullets that aren't blank. If we keep on allowing this to continue, I can see what's going to come. The mental wherewithal and the mental hardness and toughness of young men and middle-aged men will be non-existent. You'll be able to fart and they're going to fall down and start whimpering and cowering in the fetal position. You'll be able to say, hey, it's going to cost you $15.95 a day to breathe. And they're going to never stand up and speak for their rights to breathe. They're not going to. They're going to sit there and be like, okay. There's a serious lack of strong men. Stop feeling like you're afraid, or stop thinking it's not okay. Excuse me. You don't have to have money to say the right thing and do the right thing. You do gotta have some skin in the game for certain aspects of this, and you do gotta be battle hardened for certain things too. You can't just be a greenhorn. You can't just jump into certain parts of this fight without any experience. Because you will get knocked around. Gentlemen, I stand with the men's rights, and the children to my last dying breath. I've had enough. I've had enough. I can't. Why nobody cares is beyond me. I will never be silenced. I will never be afraid to speak and say what is right from wrong and what's the truth and what's really going on. You can't take from me what I've never had and what I don't have. What the fuck are you going to exclude me from? Your fucking Discord server? Your fucking group chat? Your fucking stupid holiday get-together? Your fucking messenger? Your fucking WhatsApp? What are you going to exclude? What the fuck am I missing? What the fuck am I missing? You showing off your fancy house and your stupid material shit? Okay, look, I get it, you worked hard. I understand that. You're only doing this to brag and show off and validate yourself. I could give a flying fuck less. You can't walk in my shoes, pal. You can't hold a candle to what I've been through and what I've accomplished and done in my life. Fighting? I could care less about sitting in a desk in an office space. That's not fighting. This goes back to what I said about a lack of strong men. Soft times bring soft, you know what. Tough times breed and bring strong, independent, well-versed, strong-voiced men. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, gentlemen. I appreciate each and every one of you. Reviving Real News. Later.